Hi legends, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and as we all know, last week Growing Together was actually revealed as the 13th expansion pack for The Sims 4. I reacted to the trailer, and honestly, I wasn't really expecting a lot of you to be like, wow, you sound as if you aren't excited for this pack. Like, I'm shocked. With someone who did what did I do? Like 60, 70 part of Generations in The Sims 3 Let's Play. I am excited to get my hands on this pack. It has a lot of what I've been wanting to see when it comes to The Sims 4. It seems to have a lot of personality, it seems to have a lot of like family values, but I will stand and say the last few expansion packs have been a little bit of a roller coaster for me. I definitely feel as if I was burnt when it came to Snowy Escape and also high school years. However, I also loved eco lifestyle and cottage living, so truly my emotions have been up and down, just like The Sims 4. Also, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to fully trust a trailer since the My Wedding Stories trailer. So today I thought I would clarify some of those concerns that I initially had when I watched the trailer, why I really thought those things. So first off, the original thought that I had where I was like, I pray that this is not a limitation of the expansion pack. I hope that these splash pads that we saw in the trailer aren't just for the new world. However, the one and only SimGuru Ninja absolutely out here taking one for the team and has, I feel, basically confirmed that that is not the case. Which makes me think, whilst they might not be an official item like within the catalog, I do think that they will still be available in the debug catalog. You can use those items on any given lot and they are fully usable. Which means that every flipping water park that we have on the gallery can now be like updated to have these splash pads. Another location sort of based constraint. A lot of you were like, why did that even enter your brain? I basically said in my overview, I really hope that tree houses aren't just limited to parks, which I know sounds like a silly idea. I don't think the Sims team would ever give us an object that we've been wanting pretty much the return of since The Sims 3 Generations and only allow us to build it in a park. So a lot of people were like, Molly, it's built in the garden of the blue suburban, like literally in the trailer. I personally don't think that this is the Sims garden, unless this lot is absolutely humongous. There's also like a planter back here. They already have a patio, and then there's a path that runs through here. I don't think it's like an actual park that you have to travel to. I think it kind of works, you know, like in base game with Willow Creek, there's those sort of like community garden areas where even if you're on your home lot, they can still travel here and they can still like access all of this. And I feel like it's more of a park element because one, there's like two children's bikes, and we know in this family there's only one child. There's also this gazebo bit, which doesn't really feel like something you'd have in a back garden. I feel like if you were to have this, you would have maybe a barbecue or like another little family area. And then you've got this like platform that sort of looks like a sand pit. And then this was a screenshot that we actually got on the blog post. And I thought initially that this was the same location. We have the little like stranded bear over here, but this one isn't a platform. And from what I can see, I can't see a blue suburban. I'm thinking this is actually a park that you do travel to. I think this is probably going to be like the center of a neighborhood in this new world. And then there are multiple trees being built. I don't think that you'll only be able to build them in parks. I think this item will just be part of build mode, regular build mode without debug. We haven't actually seen many different swatches. I feel like the trees have always looked the same. So I think depending on like what your child likes, or maybe this is even linked to like handiness, maybe your tree houses get better and better depending on your handiness skill, and then you can come up with like different designs. We've seen the space theme one, we've seen the fairy tale one. Another thing that I slightly think is probably very likely to be location based is the power walking. Obviously, when we got Snowy Escape, we got the hiking trails. I did say this feels like a little bit reused from that, which I don't personally mind. Obviously, this has like brand new animations. I just think they're using the technology. That's what I meant by like recycled content. I think they've probably used the same like routing that they use within Snowy Escape. However, I think this is going to be limited to Sansa Sequoia, which I get from like a game design perspective. They've probably had to route San Sequoia to actually go on these power walks. So you have like paths big enough for all of the groups involved. It's not my favorite choice though. I know it's probably done for game design and I understand it from that point of view. I just wish that these sort of activities weren't completely tied to a world. From a storytelling perspective, it doesn't really make sense that they have to travel there to take part in an activity that they like. The puzzles and games tables. This is one I've seen the community talk about an awful lot. I don't really mind the fact that they tie objects to tables. We have the Don't Wake the Llama game table, which then got introduced cards to that. I kind of hope they've integrated it like all together. So even on those old tables, if you have this expansion, you can also build jigsaws. You can play Mojang. Yes, I would love it if we could play games on dining tables or something like that. Sometimes it kind of pushes you into the corner of like having to have one of these tables actually on your Sims lot. And not everyone's house is like big enough for that. I know you could basically like replace the dining table, like put your dining table in storage, then plop one of these out for when you do want to play a game, and then like take it away and then add your dining table back in. That's just a bit of a farce, really. It's the same with drawing. If you have dine out, you can actually sit down on like a dining restaurant and you can like draw on a placemat. And obviously like kids have their own drawing tables 550 times over, but you can't sit at like the dining table and like draw at the dining table. I hate to be the one to bring this up. If you haven't noticed this, you're never gonna be able to unsee this. Again, this is one that I've seen the community like speculate about, and it's the fact that when a sim is actually like fully interacting with an infant, when they're not on their back in the little baby carrier, when they're not carrying them in their arms and like passing them off to another sim, and when they're not in their crib or like on the baby changing table, they seem to mostly be on this little like playmat, which I want to say up front, I fully understand if this is an object that is used for like tummy time for infants, fair and valid. Like you want your infants to sort of be on a soft area, you want them to be safe, and I do think that infants will be able to like scoot around, crawl around wherever. I don't think they're only going to be tied to these objects. They already showed us in the Behind the Sims live stream that animation of like an infant going down the stair. You've got these three little infants on this mat again, sort of like talking to each other. Not the same circular mat in this shot, but these two actually look like they're dancing. They're still on a rug. Maybe there is like a infant quirk that means that they don't like the feel of grass or sand, which makes sense. My niece used to physically scream if we put her down on the sand because it's a brand new texture. It's probably quite like scratchy on their skin. And like I said, for tummy time, completely understandable. But I do wonder, like, what is this rug doing? Like, I really hope that we can interact with them properly outside of this rug. Again, when you've got the toddler kind of like leaning over to kiss her little baby sibling, they're once again on the mat. What is the meaning of the mat? This little infant is actually like trying to get up on this little chair. So don't worry, I don't think they're gonna be tied to that little circular mat. I just feel like that mat is gonna be significant. Picking up child sims, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news on this one. A lot of you within my comment section of my trailer reaction was like, why is no one talking about like the dad picking up his kid? I do think it's a very cute interaction. However, I think that it's just that. I think this is just an animation that's tied to the fact that the kid has learnt to ride their bike. I don't think we'll be able to pick up our kids. I don't think we'll be able to like walk around holding our kids. I don't think if they like nap on the sofa, you'll be able to pick them up and take them to bed. Even though that was such a massive part of my childhood, the amount of times that I pretended to be asleep so that my parents could just like carry me to bed so I wouldn't have to climb up the stairs. Come on, Sims team, where's that realism? This one is a very personal one to me. It was real to me. When they're in the splash pad, the camera kind of zooms out and then shows a photo of it. I think this is just trailer magic. Once again, I am ready to get my heart broken. I said after the My Wedding Stories trailer, which was what, back February last year, I can't believe that My Wedding Stories has been out for a year now. But the amount of times that photography, the camera, camera, all of that has been updated in The Sims 4. It's still not hitting the spot for me. I legitimately want to do a whole video dedicated to why I am still disappointed in The Sims 4 camera system. You already have like a screenshot section of the game. That was so hard for me to say. I wish that you could just go into that screenshot section. I wish they would update it, first of all, because it's terrible. And I wish that you could just choose a screenshot in that section and apply it as a photo so that you could have it in your Sims house. It would be so much easier for creators. It would be so much easier for people who like to play family gameplay, who want to take screenshots of those memories instead of either like taking selfies, going through the whole rigmarole of setting up like a nice camera and a tripod and all of that and playing with poses. Just like, let me take a screenshot and apply it as a photo. This is quite clearly a screenshot of like the dad and the kid like learning to ride their bike or going on a bike ride together. Screenshot of the kid getting money from the tooth fairy, which we also saw in the trailer. This one is just a selfie, so this is one that already exists. These look so much better to me, like as memory photos. Also, whilst we're here, I think this is just going to be a decorational item. I don't think that infants or toddlers will be able to like do their own sort of artwork. Also, this is horrifying. I feel like nobody else is going to be as fussed by this as I personally am. Whilst I love all of the new things that we're kind of seeing, like these bunk beds with the bookcase on the end. Obviously, we've got a new desk over here. You got like new decor. We don't actually have like themed rooms. And I definitely feel as if kids, teenage, toddler, nurseries need more theming. It's a lot of base game decoration. I'm mainly talking about like the floors and the walls, but even like sets, like bedroom sets, like a fairy tale set, a space themed set, and the very last thing, this squiddy little thing up here, which we have seen in a multitude of scenes throughout this trailer. It's part of one of the blog posts that they posted, and this is basically like a keepsake box that can be passed down, I think, through generations. It's kind of like a family heirloom. I do have concerns about this little thing because I feel as if it just looks like any other decor within the game. I hope that there's some gameplay tied to this. I hope that if you are a grandparent of a family, you can kind of put your own keepsakes in this box, be it like maybe photos, be it like some simoleons for your grandkids, something that you can physically pass down. I hope that you can gift these boxes to your family. I hope there's some form of gameplay tied to this. Like, they did point it out in the blog post, which makes me think that there is gameplay tied to it. I have no concerns about this cupboard. I love her. So there we have it. Those are all of my concerns with the Growing Together trailer. There are definitely some things that I have absolutely no concerns about, Create a Sim being one of them. I think Create a Sim looks absolutely solid in this pack. Don't get me wrong, I do also have some slight concerns that it feels a lot of this pack is kind of hinging on the emotion system and also brand new like programs within the game. I feel like whenever a pack sort of hinges on those new systems, it just doesn't really bode well, hence fears and wants and also sentiments and lifestyles. They weren't my favorite. Here's hoping that this pack can kind of switch those systems around. I just didn't want to bog down this video even further. I will say the blog posts have a lot of words. When I first read over it in my reaction trailer, I was like, I feel overwhelmed. So I'm really just not going to think too much about all of that system-based gameplay. I'm going to get to it when I get to it. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope this video was enjoyable. I hope it wasn't like too downtrodden. I hope I haven't taken away the excitement for you because I'm personally still excited for this pack. I'm excited to explore it. I'm excited to see if it brings everything that it looks like it's gonna bring. It genuinely feels like a well thought out pack based on a lot of feedback that Simmers have given to the team over recent years. And for one, I am really thankful. Leave your thoughts, theories, anything that might debunk my actual theories. I love to hear all of that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Subscribe if you aren't already. Hit that notification bell. I'm going to be covering all of Infants Growing Together. Whenever I get my hands on it, you know I'm going to be all over it. If there's anything specific you would like me to record when this pack comes out or when Infants come out, leave that down below as well. Let's have a good old natter down in the comments. I appreciate you all, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.